Well, that could not have went any worse for the Philadelphia Phillies. They were swept by the New York Mets, their division rival, hated division rival in the National League East, up in Queens at Citi Field. Just not good stuff by the Phillies. The Mets were not playing great baseball leading up to that three-game series against the Phillies. Now all of a sudden, the Phillies helped them get hot, feeling good, get momentum heading into this final stretch of the regular season and into the postseason. It happened last year for the Mets. They got hot at the right time down the stretch, made that deep run, including beating the Phillies in the NLDS in the playoffs in just 4 games. And who knows, that could happen again this year. They have the team for it. And that's the last thing that we need to see, that the Phillies need to see. And the Phillies might have just helped them get to that point with that sweep here at Citi Field over the last 3 days. The Phillies were shut out in the series finale, 6-0 Wednesday night. It was the exact opposite of what the Phillies needed to do up there at Citi Field. The Mets weren't playing good. The Phillies needed to take advantage, kick them while they were down, and really just start to run away with the division. Now all of a sudden, the Phillies have just a 4-game lead for first place in the NL East over the Mets, with still a whole month of September left to play, just under 30 games or so. Anything can happen. The Phillies could end up losing this division and getting into the playoffs as a wild card team. We'll see what happens. Obviously, still a lot of baseball left to play. One series isn't going to kill you, but it just feels really bad when you get swept by your division rival, especially in their home stadium, and especially when they weren't playing good baseball before that series started. Aaron Nola is on the mound tonight back in South Philadelphia at Citizens Bank Park, starting a 4-game series against another NL East rival, Atlanta Braves. The Braves haven't been a good team here in 2025, so the Phillies need to get back on track, get back to the winning ways, and that starts tonight with Aaron Nola on the mound. He obviously is coming off a very solid start last weekend over the Washington Nationals last Saturday. Had that first rough start back from the IL, so hopefully he can build off that good start in his last outing tonight against the Braves and really just hammer down and be a reliable starting pitcher for the Phillies down the stretch and into the postseason, because the Phillies definitely need it, especially for a veteran like Nola with Zach Wheeler out for the season and the playoffs. The Phillies are a much better team at home, so hopefully they can just put this sweep at Citi Field on the road behind them and, like I said, get back on track here at Citizens Bank Park in front of their home crowd tonight against the Braves for this big 4-game series. Welcome into Phillies Daily, everybody. I'm your host, Mike Henley. Make sure you guys subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily. Now, to stick with just the overall series that happened here, obviously they were swept by the Mets. The Phillies are now on a 10-game losing streak up there in Queens at Citi Field. Now, the Phillies did have leads in both of the first 2 games of that 3-game series against the Mets that they were swept just now. They ended up losing both of those games. Obviously, the first one Monday night, 13-3. The next one also lost 6-5 at the end. And then yesterday and Wednesdays obviously didn't have a lead. They were shut out 6-0. The Phillies offense is in one of their little mini slumps that has been a common problem all season long here in 2025. The lineup's too good to fall into these cold stretches collectively as a whole, these slumps, but it has plagued them all year long, and they're in it right now, and it came at a very bad time. They had just 6 hits and 3 runs, also just 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position in Monday's 13-3 loss to the Mets. They had more hits on Tuesday, 11 hits, 5 runs, still not bad there either, but 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position, which is not good in Tuesday's 6-5 loss there. And then yesterday in Wednesday's series finale loss to get swept by the Mets, the Phillies had just 5 hits, obviously no runs in that shutout, and they were 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position in that 6-0 shutout loss. So we've all seen it all year long if you've been watching the Phillies and paying attention. They just cannot consistently come up big with those hits in clutch situations with runners in scoring position. They rely too much on power a lot of the times. That's kind of how their team is built, off of power, their lineup. But still, you have to come through in these clutch situations, find other ways to score, come up with that big hit, because you're not going to go deep into a playoff series against really good teams, against really good pitching, if you can't get the little things done and the basic fundamentals of baseball. The Phillies have to prove that they can do that more consistently down this final stretch into the playoffs if they want any hopes of winning a World Series championship here in 2025. Again, ugly series for the Phillies. They have just a 4-game lead over the Mets now because of that sweep. They were up 7 games leading into that series. They could have took advantage. As I said, Mets were not playing good baseball before that. Could have ran away with the division here. Unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of meaningful baseball games here in the National League East with the Phillies, with the Mets in this final month of the regular season in September. Again, bad timing for the Phillies offense to go into one of their little mini slumps here. Also, just a bad time to run in a very good pitcher, a very young pitcher, a bad time to get dominated by a rookie pitcher. The Phillies just couldn't get anything going and were shut down by Mets rookie pitcher Nolan McLean. It was just McLean's 3rd career start at the major league level. He made his MLB debut just a week or so ago on August 16th against the Seattle Mariners, I believe it was. He also made a start with against the Braves before he started against the Phillies yesterday in Wednesday's 6-0 shutout loss. Through his first 2 starts, he was dominant as well. So it hasn't just been the Phillies that had a problem with him. He was 2-0 with 6 hits allowed and 2 earned runs. He also had 15 strikeouts through his first 2 starts of his major league career. Those numbers are even better, even more impressive now after that 6-0 shutout win over the Phillies. The Phillies veteran lineup just couldn't figure out Nolan McLean, and really got to give the kid credit. He looked dominant. He looked filthy. He had wicked movement on his pitches, and he's going to be a problem for Major League Baseball, and he's going to be a thorn in the side of the Phillies. You heard John Kruk and Tom McCarthy talking about it during the broadcast. You heard Michael Barkan, Ricky Bowe, and Ben Davis talking about it as well in the post-game show, that this kid really has the looks of being something special for a long time at the Major League level, and that's unfortunate that he's in the Phillies division, and they're going to have to face him time after time after time. He tossed 8 scoreless, 8 shutout innings against the Phillies in Wednesday's 6-0 shutout loss that they had. He allowed just 4 hits, no walks, and he struck out 6 Phillies batters. Obviously picked up the win as well against them. Again, just incredible stuff out of him. You got to give credit where credit is due. Again, some of his pitches just were wickedly moving around, something that you really don't see often, and pitches shouldn't be moving as much as his pitches were. So really a lot of credit for him, and it stinks that he is a New York Met and has to face the Phillies a lot. Now, there was a lot of bad, obviously, in not only the game yesterday, the series overall. There was some good and some bad. Taijuan Walker was on the mound in the series finale yesterday. Taijuan Walker obviously hasn't lived up to that 4-year, $72 million contract. He's in the 3rd year of it, about to be done that, heading into the final year of the contract for 2026. Taijuan Walker, we all know, okay season in his first season, wasn't used in the playoffs because he just didn't fit in, kind of struggled down the stretch there in 2023. Last year had a horrible season for the Phillies, one of the worst I've ever seen by a pitcher, starting pitcher wise. Obviously made a few bullpen appearances there late in the season. Again, wasn't used in the postseason for the Phillies in 2024. And then he came into this year and he's been a pleasant surprise. He has worked hard, put his head down, and he's been an ultimate team player for the Phillies, bouncing back from the rotation, the bullpen this year, having just a very good season overall for Taijuan Walker. And it's really good to see. And that was, again, the case yesterday. It looked like vintage Taijuan Walker was going to come out and make an appearance yesterday in that loss to the Mets. In the 3rd inning, he ran into a lot of trouble. He allowed a leadoff double, then a bunt single. And then after that, back-to-back RBI singles. The Mets took a 3-0 lead there in the 3rd inning off of Taijuan Walker. There was still no outs with runners on 1st and 3rd. So really just a tough situation. Again, it looked like vintage Taijuan Walker was going to make an appearance from how he pitched last year. But all credit goes to Taijuan. Sorry about that. Taijuan Walker, clutch pitching in that tough situation. 1st and 3rd, no outs, down 3-0. Looked like he was going to just get absolutely blown up in that inning, but clutch pitching to get out of the inning. Taijuan Walker struck out Brandon Nimmo first to get the first out of the inning, and then he got Mark Vientos, who's also been a thorn in the side of the Phillies since he's appeared as I believe last year. He was a rookie. Just killed the Phillies, absolute Phillies killer, especially in the playoffs, if you remember that, during that series loss in the NLDS that the Mets beat the Phillies. But he got Mark Vientos to ground into an inning-ending double play to keep that deficit 3-0. Could have been a lot worse for the Phillies, a lot worse for Taijuan Walker. Again, Really good stuff out of him to get out of that jam. He did allow one more run in the 5th inning, but still, through 5 innings, you can live with 4 runs allowed, that you're still in the ball game. He pitched good enough to keep the Phillies in the ball game and to try to give them a chance to win. He went 5 innings. He did allow 10 hits, a lot of hits, just the 1 walk, 4 earned runs, and 3 strikeouts in those 5 innings. Again, if you're allowing 3-4 runs a game or less, that's a pretty solid start in my opinion, because you can still have one swing of the bat if that is bases loaded to at least tie up a game if you're down 4 runs by a grand slam. Anything more than that, a little tougher to come back by, but especially with an offense like the Phillies, it shouldn't be a tough problem to score runs and to stay in a ball game if you're down 2, 3, 4 runs. So credit to Taijuan Walker getting out of that 3rd inning jam. Could have been a lot worse. Could have looked a lot worse. They still lost 6-0. Just put really the nail in the coffin there for the Phillies in that series, and it was ugly. But again, credit to Taijuan Walker. Now just flipping a little bit from the game to the minor leagues to maybe potential September call-up with that calendar about to flip to September. It's the end of August now. Obviously, everybody here for the Phillies fans are calling for some of their top prospects to get some time here at the major league level. And most notably, the one all year long Phillies fans have wanted to see is the outfielder Justin Crawford. He has been continuing to absolutely rake it at AAA with the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. He has a .331 batting average in 2025 with the Iron Pigs, his first full season at AAA, mind you that. He's batting .352 with 3 home runs in the month of August, so an incredible month here for him. And those 3 home runs are his most home runs in a month all year long in 2025. He hadn't hit more than 1 home run in any other month this season. He's not known for his home runs, not known for his power, but he's showcasing that here in August a little bit. And that's really just another reason that he's improving his game and that the Phillies should give this kid a chance, especially with the outfield still being kind of a weakness here and there for the Phillies. Crawford not only has a .331 batting average, he also has 23 doubles, 4 triples, and 42 stolen bases. Speedy guy as well, smart on the base paths, really does it all. Pretty good fielder too there in the outfield. He's a career .321 hitter in the minors since being drafted by the Phillies in the first round in 2022. Again, just hits at every single level he's been at. Still just 21 years old, left-handed hitting outfielder. Could be a September call-up with rosters being able to be expanded from the 26-man roster to 28 in September through the rest of the regular season. 2 extra spots. One of them could go to Justin Crawford. And finally, satisfy Phillies fans wanting to see one of their top prospects come up and try to just see what he can do at the major league level. Obviously, Brandon Marsh has failed to claim a starting everyday spot in the Phillies outfield. He was getting hot, but he has also cooled off as of late. He's just 1 for his last 12 with 7 strikeouts. He also has a .250 batting average here in the month of August. Max Kepler, we all know, failed signing by the Phillies this past offseason. The veteran just hasn't been able to figure things out at the plate. .216 batting average in 2025. However, he has been hot as of late, having his best month of 2025 here in August. He's batting .364 in scratch that. He's not batting .364. He's batting just a hair under .300 in the month of August. Some clutch hits there for him as well. Best month other than March, where he played in just 3 games to start the season. He batted .364 in those 3 games in March. But other than that, this month, .295 I think he has in August, is his best month of the season. Still just a .216 batting average in 2025 though. And then Weston Wilson, another outfielder, obviously doesn't get a lot of playing time on the bench. He's batting just .212 with 4 extra base hits in 37 games here in 2025. And he's also cold as of late, 1 for his last 14. Now, we all know the other 2 guys, Harrison Bader and Nick Castellanos, are kind of more the Phillies' better options as of right now in the outfield. Harrison Bader is batting .274 since he was traded from the Twins to the Phillies at the deadline back at the end of July. He's also batting .500 with 2 doubles, a home run, and 2 RBIs in his last 5 games. So he's doing pretty well at the plate right now for the Phillies, especially as of late. And then Nick Castellanos is obviously a mainstay there in right field. They're paying him a ton of money. Veteran, right there, plugged in really in the middle of the lineup, getting things done. He's cooled off a little bit as of late, slumping. .207 batting average in the month of July, .198 here in August. But again, he is going to continue to keep getting a lot of playing time and really being that mainstay in the Phillies outfield. But other than that, the top 3 other guys that I mentioned, Brandon Marsh, Max Kepler, and Weston Wilson, Not doing anything crazy that should really say absolutely not. Justin Crawford cannot get an opportunity. Might as well give the kid an opportunity here. He still will be able to keep his rookie status for next year if he's able to make the Phillies team in 2026. Give him a chance. Let him get some at-bats. I know they want him to play every day down there in the AAA. That's why they've been trying to keep him down there to keep getting consistent at-bats. But 1 month of the season, this is when a lot of teams give their top prospects, their young guys, opportunities to prove themselves and see what they can do at the major league level so they know what they have heading into the next season of their development. And the Phillies should really just give him a shot and see if he can help them have a more consistent offense, better production in the outfield through the rest of the regular season, help them win games, and really lock up this NL East title and one of these top spots in the National League. We'll see what happens. But thank you guys for watching this episode of Phillies Daily. I'm your host, Mike Hennelly. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily. Tough series against the Mets. Brand new series. Fresh start here at home. 4-game series against the Braves. Aaron Nolan on the mound tonight. Let's get a win, and let's talk about that tomorrow on Friday. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, go Phils.